Hello, friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I am so glad you're here today. Now, I have to ask you something. Have you heard about the new 2026 TSA rule changes? Because if you're planning to fly this year and you haven't, you could be standing at that security checkpoint with your shoes off, your belt in the bin, and an officer pulling aside your carry-on, and you won't even know why. That title sounds a little alarming, I know. But here's the thing. I'm not here to scare you. I am here to prepare you. There is a big difference. I'm Sophia, and I've spent 15 years as a flight attendant watching passengers. Lovely, well-meaning people just like you get stopped, delayed, and sometimes miss their flights entirely because nobody warned them about rule changes before they left home. And that breaks my heart every single time. So in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the new 2026 TSA updates. What's newly banned, what's changed, and exactly what you need to do to sail through that security line like a pro. Airlines are certainly not going out of their way to send you a newsletter about this, but I've got your back. Let's get into it. Here's something I've noticed over my years of flying. The passengers who have the hardest time at security aren't careless people. They're prepared people who prepared for the old rules. TSA updates its prohibited items list and screening procedures more often than most travelers realize. And after the new calendar year, 2026 brought with it some notable changes, from updated restrictions on certain electronics and lithium batteries to new ID requirements that are fully in effect now, to tightened rules around medical items and food. If you're a frequent flyer or you're taking a big trip this year, this information is essential. I'm going to walk you through the key updates in a clear, tip-by-tip format so you know exactly what to pack, what to leave home, and how to move through screening with confidence. And before we dive in, if you find this helpful, please hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video. I put out new content every week just for travelers like you. Tip number 1. Real ID is no longer optional, and not having one will cost you $45. Have you looked at your driver's license lately? I mean, really looked at it? Here's something that is catching thousands of travelers completely off guard right now. As of February 1st, 2026, TSA officially moved into full enforcement mode for Real ID compliance. That means the grace period, the years of gentle reminders and second chances at the checkpoint, is over. Done. Finished. I know that might sound alarming, but here's the truth about what this actually means for you, and more importantly, what you can do about it today. The insider secret. Starting February 1st, 2026, U.S. travelers without a real ID or other acceptable identification are required to pay a $45 TSA Confirm ID fee to proceed through airport security. The fee allows travelers to undergo an alternative identity verification process valid for a 10-day travel period. But TSA warns this option may result in longer screening times and added delays. Now, how do you know if your ID is Real ID compliant? Look at the top of your state-issued driver's license. If you see a gold or black star in the corner, you're good. That little star is your golden ticket through security. No star? You'll need to either get your license upgraded at the DMV before you travel or bring your valid U.S. passport instead. I've seen this play out at the gate. People patting their pockets, confused, holding up the line. Don't let that be you. Practical action steps. Before your next trip, do these 3 things. First, find your driver's license right now and check for that star symbol in the upper corner. Second, if there is no star, visit your state's DMV website. Most states can process an upgrade in one appointment. Third, if you're traveling soon and can't get there in time, pack your valid U.S. passport as your ID instead. A passport is always accepted and is actually the easiest solution for frequent travelers. Now that we've tackled your ID situation, let's talk about something that's been confiscated from thousands of travelers this year, and it might be sitting in your carry-on right now. Tip number 2. Power banks and lithium batteries. The rules have gotten strict. The problem. You know that little portable charger you keep in your travel bag? The one you use to top off your phone between flights? Most travelers assume that as long as it's not a weapon, it can go anywhere. Carry-on, checked bag, doesn't matter. Friends, that assumption is getting people's luggage pulled off conveyor belts every single day. The insider secret: all power banks and spare lithium batteries must travel in your carry-on bag. You should never pack power banks in checked luggage. This is about fire safety inside the aircraft. TSA is applying 0 exceptions to this rule. Here's why this matters so much. Lithium batteries, when they overheat or get punctured in the cargo hold, can cause fires that are very difficult for crews to extinguish mid-flight. The cabin, where your carry-on sits, allows crew members to respond immediately. The cargo hold does not, and it goes further than power banks. Any suitcase with a non-removable battery is not allowed on any U.S. airline. There has already been a case where a traveler had to leave behind an expensive smart suitcase at the airport because the battery needed a screwdriver to come out. TSA officers would not make an exception. So if you have one of those fancy, smart suitcases with a built-in USB charger, make absolutely sure that battery pops out by hand. If it requires a tool, that bag cannot fly. Period. Practical action steps. Before you pack, go through your carry-on and checked bag and pull out every power bank, portable charger, and spare battery you own. All of those go in your carry-on. Always. If your suitcase has a built-in battery, test right now that it removes easily with your fingers. If it doesn't, use a different bag or contact the manufacturer. And when in doubt, check the TSA website's "What Can I Bring" tool. I'll mention that again later because it is genuinely wonderful. Okay, batteries sorted. Now let's talk about something that surprises almost everyone. What happens when you bring the wrong kind of ID? Wait, we covered that? Oh, I mean, what's happening with your aerosol products? Because this one catches my senior travelers especially off guard. Tip number 3. Aerosol sprays over 3.4 ounces are now banned from carry-ons. The problem? I can't tell you how many times I've watched a lovely passenger at security pull out a full-size can of hairspray or a big aerosol sunscreen, absolutely certain it would be fine. They even bought it specifically for the trip. And then it gets confiscated and they're frustrated, and I completely understand that frustration. But here's what's changed. The insider secret: aerosol deodorants over 3.4 ounces are officially banned from carry-ons in 2026, even if they're labeled as travel-friendly. TSA has tightened enforcement on pressurized containers due to increased incidents of leakage and flammability. Stick or roll-on deodorants are still fine, but anything in a spray can is likely to get tossed. This applies to hairspray, aerosol sunscreen, aerosol bug spray, aerosol dry shampoo. If it comes in a pressurized spray can and it's over 3.4 ounces, it cannot go in your carry-on. Full stop. Now, I know for some of my viewers who rely on specific hair products or medical sprays, this feels like a real inconvenience. And it is. But here is the workaround that I personally use and recommend to passengers all the time. Either switch to travel-size versions of your favorites. 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters is the magic number. Or pack your full-size products in your checked luggage. Simple as that. Practical action steps. Do a carry-on audit before every trip. Pull out every spray bottle, every aerosol can, every product in a pressurized container. If the label says more than 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters, checked bag. If it's under 3.4 ounces, it must also fit inside a single 1-quart clear zip-top bag along with all your other liquids. 1 bag per person, that's the rule. I always keep a spare quart-sized bag in my travel kit so I'm never scrambling at the airport. Now let's talk about something that my tech-savvy travelers need to hear, because this one can hold up the whole line. Tip number 4. Powders over 12 ounces will be pulled aside for extra screening. The problem. This is one of those rules that most people have simply never heard of, and I completely understand why. It feels oddly specific, doesn't it? Powders. Who thinks about powders? Well, TSA does. And if you travel with protein powder, coffee, powdered drink mixes, certain medications in powder form, or even baby formula in large quantities, this affects you directly. The insider secret. Protein powders and other powdered supplements over 12 ounces are now subject to additional screening. TSA agents may open containers, swab them for explosives, or even confiscate them if they can't be verified. This rule applies to baby formula and drink mixes too. Here's what I want you to picture. You're at the checkpoint, everyone behind you is waiting, and an officer is opening your carefully packed container of powdered fiber supplement and swabbing it. It's not dangerous, it's not dramatic, but it does take time. And if you have a tight connection, that time matters enormously. Trust me on this. I've seen it hold people up for 10, 15 minutes. The solution is simple once you know the rule. Practical action steps. For any powders in your carry-on, keep quantities under 12 ounces if possible. If you need more than that, say a week's worth of a supplement or formula, pack the bulk of it in your checked luggage and just bring what you need for the flight in your carry-on. Always keep powders in their original, labeled containers. An unlabeled bag of white powder is going to raise questions every time, no matter how innocent it is. I am not here to judge. I'm here to save you time. Here's another thing that is causing real headaches in 2026, and it involves something many of my travelers keep right on their keychain. Tip number 5. Multi-tools and utility knives are now banned from carry-ons, even small ones. The problem? Do you have a Swiss Army knife on your keychain? A little multi-tool your kids gave you? Maybe a small folding utility knife you keep in your travel bag for cutting tags off luggage or opening packages. I know many of my viewers carry these routinely, and for years there was some flexibility around smaller blades. That flexibility is gone in 2026. The insider secret. Even if the blade is under 2.36 inches, foldable utility knives and multi-tools are banned from carry-ons. TSA has reversed previous leniency due to rising concerns about concealed blades. These tools must now be packed in checked luggage or left behind. And it doesn't stop there. Toy guns, replica grenades, and even belt buckles shaped like knives are now banned from carry-ons. The TSA has expanded its definition of prohibited items to include anything that could be mistaken for a weapon. Even if they're clearly fake, they're still not allowed past security. In my 15 years of flying, I've watched the rules around blades go back and forth. But right now, the message is clear. If it has a blade or looks like a weapon, even a novelty one, it stays home or goes in the checked bag. No exceptions, no appeals at the checkpoint. Practical action steps. Before you leave for the airport, do a quick sweep of your everyday carry items: keychain, travel bag, jacket pockets. Remove any multi-tool, pocket knife, or novelty item that could be flagged. Pack them in your checked luggage or leave them at home. A good rule I always tell passengers: when in doubt, leave it out. The few dollars you might save keeping something in your carry-on is never worth the delay, the stress, or losing the item entirely. Now let's talk about smart luggage, because this is a newer thing, and there's some really important information you need to know before you invest in one of those bags. Tip number 6. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries cannot fly. Period. The problem: smart luggage. Bags with built-in USB charging ports, GPS trackers, and digital locks has become really popular over the last few years. And I'll be honest, some of it is genuinely clever and useful. But there's a rule around these bags that is now being enforced with zero flexibility, and it could mean leaving your brand new expensive suitcase behind at the security checkpoint. The insider secret. Smart luggage batteries must be removable by hand. Any suitcase with a non-removable battery is not allowed on any U.S. airline. TSA is applying zero exceptions to this rule. This ban has actually been in place since 2018 under FAA guidelines, but in 2026, enforcement has become absolute. There are no more quiet exceptions, no, well, it's a small battery conversations. If the battery requires any kind of tool to remove, a screwdriver, a coin, anything, that bag cannot board. I'll never forget when I had to explain this to a lovely couple at the gate last year. They had just bought a beautiful new suitcase as a travel gift. The battery was built in. It didn't come out by hand. They had to check the bag with the airline, and the airline wouldn't accept it either. They ended up buying a new bag in the airport shop. It was heartbreaking and completely avoidable. Practical action steps. If you already own smart luggage, test this right now before your next trip. Try to remove the battery with just your fingers. If it comes out easily, wonderful, you're fine. If it doesn't, contact the manufacturer and ask about a fix, or plan to use a different bag. If you're shopping for new luggage and considering a smart bag, make sure the product listing explicitly says the battery is hand removable. This is the most important feature to verify. All right, we've covered IDs, batteries, aerosols, powders, blades, and luggage. Now I want to talk about something that trips up my food-loving travelers, because what you can bring to eat is changing too. Tip number 7. Unlabeled food liquids and homemade dips will be confiscated. The problem. You know that feeling when you're preparing for a long flight and you want to bring something from home? Maybe your favorite hummus, a little container of ranch for your vegetables, some yogurt, a homemade salad dressing? It feels so reasonable. Food is food, right? Well, here's what they don't tell you. The 3.4-ounce liquid rule applies to food items too. And in 2026, the enforcement has gotten stricter. The insider secret. Agents have been instructed to discard any unlabeled liquids or gels over 3.4 ounces, even if they're food items. That means your ranch dressing, hummus, or yogurt cup might not make it through. To stay safe, stick to factory-sealed items or pack liquids in checked baggage. Here's why this matters, especially for my senior travelers. Many of you follow specific diets, manage health conditions, and bring carefully prepared foods from home. I respect and admire that. But the solution is to either buy travel-size, factory-sealed versions of your favorite condiments or pack your food-based liquids in your checked bag. Solid foods, sandwiches, nuts, crackers, cut fruit, are generally fine in your carry-on and don't count toward your liquids limit. It's the sauces, dips, spreads, and drinks that fall under the rule. Practical action steps. When packing snacks for the flight, think in terms of solid versus liquid. A hard-boiled egg? Fine. A container of tzatziki? That's a liquid. 3.4 ounces or less, or check it. If you're traveling with medical nutrition supplements or specific dietary needs in liquid form, TSA does make accommodations, but you need to declare those items at the checkpoint and be prepared to explain them. The TSA website has specific guidance on medically necessary liquids that I'd encourage you to read before you fly. We've covered a lot today. Let me give you one final tip that ties everything together, because this one tool can save you from every single mistake we've talked about. Tip number 8. Use the TSA What Can I Bring tool. It's free and takes 30 seconds. The problem? Here's the honest truth. TSA's rules change. Items move between the allowed and not allowed lists more often than you'd think. And no matter how prepared you are, there will always be that one item you're not sure about. A medication, a piece of equipment, a hobby tool, something you bought as a gift. Most passengers just guess, and guessing is how you lose things at the checkpoint. The insider secret. TSA has a completely free tool on their website called What Can I Bring? And in my experience, most travelers have never used it. For items not listed on the general guidance, TSA's Ask TSA team is available to answer questions 365 days a year, with live assistance available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also tweet or message at Ask TSA on social media and usually get a response within minutes. Most passengers don't know this, but you can literally type in knee replacement or CPAP machine or fishing hooks or cupcakes, and it will tell you exactly what is and isn't allowed and where to pack it. I use it myself when I'm not sure about something. There is absolutely no shame in checking. It takes 30 seconds and it can save you the heartbreak of losing a treasured item at the airport. Practical action steps. The night before every trip, and I mean every trip, go to tsa.gov and use the What Can I Bring search tool for any item you're unsure about. Bookmark it on your phone right now. Also remember, the final decision rests with the TSA officer at the checkpoint, even for items that are generally permitted. So when in doubt, pack it in your checked bag instead of your carry-on. Checked bags have more flexibility, and it's always better to be safe. Well, friends, we covered a lot of ground today, and I am so proud of you for staying with me all the way through. Let me give you the 3 things I most want you to remember. Number 1. Check your driver's license for that real ID star before you travel. And if it's not there, bring your passport. Number 2. All power banks and lithium batteries go in your carry-on, never your checked bag, no exceptions. And number 3. When you're not sure about an item, check TSA.gov's "What Can I Bring" tool the night before your flight. Those 3 habits alone will save you from 90% of the problems I see at the airport. I know the airport can feel overwhelming sometimes, especially when the rules keep changing. But here's what I want you to hold on to. You are more prepared than most passengers flying today. You took the time to learn this. That matters. If you found this video helpful, would you do me a favor? Give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family member who has a trip coming up. You might just save them from a very frustrating morning at the airport. And if you have a question I didn't answer today, or if there's a topic you'd like me to cover next, please leave it in the comments below. I read every single one, and your questions actually shape what I make next. Safe travels, everyone! I'll see you in the next video.